I should be wearing a mask, right? Should be turning on my air cleaner, right? Lecture me on my safety. Come on. It is Sunday morning. It's also Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas. We're also at the end, or close to the end of 2023. Not a bad year for me overall. Even though I didn't put out a lot of woodworking content, I checked and I put out 15 build videos on my main channel over the year. I don't know how many videos I did here. Probably somewhere around that. As it happens, I generally put out a build video and then I make a video on here talking a little bit about that. That's the way it's played out over the past couple of years anyway. Yeah, so pretty busy. Not as busy as I have been in the previous years because, like I freely admitted, I'm slowing this all down towards some kind of semi-retirement. I'm closing in on 60 years old, and I've worked hard most of my life, and it's time for me to try to enjoy the fruits of my labor, the reward at the end of it all. And so, yeah, I'm being more picky about the projects that I build, and I'm not pushing myself too hard. Right? And that results in, not putting out as much content, but that's all I can do. Right? At this point, I'm not going to say that I don't care, because I very much do care. It's just that this is the way it happens, right? In order to relax more, you have to do less work. So the work that I am doing, I'm trying to make it more meaningful, okay? So less novelty projects that'll get a lot of looky-loos, watching, and more serious projects, something like that miter guide that I built recently and then kind of rebuilt in the next video. So the next project, the next big project, because they're mostly all bigger now anyway, is a new chair for me to sit in. And this is something that I've been designing for years. I can't even begin to, I can't even remember when I started designing this. It started out as a couch. I was going to build this solid wood frame couch. And then I said, well, what about you make a couple chairs instead? And so I went through several different design variations. And in the back of my mind, the comparison with the Eames chair, that's what I kept going to as the reference. But recently, I got re-inspired to get back into the design when the chair that I have down in my listing room, one of two recliners that I bought, I don't know, around 7 years ago, broke. The metal frame inside wears out because it's made from very soft, mild steel, not really up to the task. The chairs weren't super cheap, but they weren't super expensive or anything. So yeah, it broke, and this is like 3 times for that chair, okay? And every time I would weld the frame in the same place. But if you know anything about welding, the weld is super hard, super strong. The metal beside it then breaks, right? Because not only does the weld fix the thing, it also weakens the metal a little bit around it, right? So the stress is still there, but it's now concentrated in another area. Yeah, so I need to replace that chair. And I'll be making it from white oak, mostly, the frame anyway. Here's a piece that I planed down yesterday. Pretty interesting on the back. This is for the side frames. I went into my lumber rack and I pulled out a bunch of pieces, and I wasn't sure if they were white or red. I've got 2 types. I bought some white to build the chair in the beginning, about 2 years ago. And I also had some red oak. And you really don't see it until you get it planed down to solid wood. And I'll show you the difference here. All right, here's the red. And here's the white. Okay, so red has a very pinkish hue, while the white, ironically enough, is darker, but it's got a more cream color. It doesn't really have a lot of red in there. All right, the grain and everything else, the density and all that is very similar, very, very, very much alike. It's just that color. So yeah, there'll be a mix in there because I really can't be that picky because I've got like a limit on how much stuff I've got. All right, and the chair does take quite a bit of solid wood, and so it's not going to be cheap. Yeah. So like I said, I started milling the lumber down yesterday. Today I'm going to be getting on cutting out the parts, and I need to mill down another piece of white because, like I said, this piece is red, and these parts that I'm making right now are for the outer frame, so I want that to all be looking the same because I'm not going to be staining this. This is going to be just a clear finish, right? So you put these two together. Let's see if I can do that. And you're going to see a difference between the two, right? So yeah, I want to dig out another piece of white oak, the same thickness, mill it down to the same thickness to replace the two pieces that I cut that are red, and fix that little problem. And then I'll use these on the interior parts of the frame. So they won't go to waste. It's just I won't use them where I originally planned. And I should mention that once again, this project is going to be happening in segments. Like what I'm doing, the way I'm doing projects now is I'm doing a portion of it, filming the whole thing, then I'm editing that very short video. What I mean by very short is usually less than 10 minutes. And that video, in this case, the build video that goes on my main channel won't have any narration. It'll be all silent. It'll just be me here working the shop, showing how I built it. But these segment videos will have me talking, like doing some talking during the video, telling what's going on. And if you want to watch those, you have to be a supporter, excuse me, on either Patreon or Locals. And you'll get access to that, plus the other exclusive content that's been building on there for the past, well, 6-7 years. It depends on how much you want to scroll. You can scroll down and find all kinds of, golden buried nuggets on those feeds there to watch that you've never seen before. So the other things that I've got going on is I've gotten more into electronics over the past year. I used to be deep into that. 15 to 20 years ago, I was building speakers, amplifiers, all audio related stuff, right? Not really interested in too much else other than audio. Audio is kind of it's a real fixation hobby for a lot of people. I think it's the one that's most, addictive for people, because once you're in it, and I don't recall when this happened with me. It's like I was born this way, It's like I'm gay. I'm not gay, but I'm saying, okay, if you're gay, you probably think you're born gay. And I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm saying that it's the same thing with this. It's like I was born with this fixation on audio. So yeah, I'm kind of getting back into it now, or I've gotten back into it, and I made 50 videos on that channel over the course of the year. And if you're into that topic, you can go there. There's a link in the description. But if you're not into it and you're not going to watch the videos, I ask you not to subscribe. You can go there and watch the videos. I'm not telling anyone to not watch the videos. I'm saying that if you're not going to watch the videos on the topic, then it's better not to subscribe, because that helps the channel. I've had a real problem getting new subscribers to that channel because, excuse me again, the dust from this oak irritated my throat yesterday, I think. I should be wearing a mask, right? Should be turning on my air cleaner, right? Lecture me on my safety. Come on. Anyway, so the problem I'm having with subscribers there is that the channel started as woodworking. I've talked about this before, of course. It started as woodworking, and then I changed it to audio, two kind of completely different topics. And that kind of turned off the people that were originally subscribed because it's not woodworking. And they don't watch the videos, but then they don't bother to unsubscribe. And then the channel being older, a lot of those people have moved on. So yeah, it all has an impact on how much the channel gets recommended. So if you're currently subscribed to that channel, you can check that. You know, go to your subscriptions and you'll see the icon there. I'll put it on the screen right now. And you're not watching those videos because you're not interested in it. I ask you to unsubscribe, please. You'll be doing me a big favor. Other projects, like I talked about before, I'm going to be making a pair of stools for my kitchen, kind of semi-fancy. Once again, they'll be made from solid wood. Another larger project that was supposed to happen next, actually, but the chair breakage and my desire not to weld it again, because I have to bring the welder down to the basement and weld it in the room with a fan blowing and a piece of plywood on the floor to keep it from burning into the floor. I don't want to do that anymore. The chair is stable enough for me to sit in now until I can get the new one built. So I'm going to concentrate on this one. And then I'll do the stools after that, and then whatever comes into my, crazy head after that, I'll build. And we'll watch it together. But once again, I'll repeat that everything that you're going to be seeing on my main channel will be broken down in more detail, more videos, more personal interaction on these segment videos that you'll find only on Patreon and Locals. And this is not me, cutting out my loyal viewership. I explained why I'm doing this before. It's easier for me to do this. It makes it so I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. There's lots of projects that I've done over the past year that I didn't bother to film because of, setting up the camera, doing all the stuff that you have to do all at one time, and it takes your attention away. I mean, lots of smaller projects, lots of smaller things that I've done. This way, I get the filming done, the editing done at the time, and that really breaks it down, really makes it easy at the end. All I need to do is take all those segments, cut pieces out, splice them together. It's like an hour's work with the editing. And each video is not much more than an hour to begin with, right? And then when you break it up, you don't notice it. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. It's not to try to pull more money out of people. It's not me being a greedy capitalist, the top hat capitalist making a fortune from the poor or oppressed people. No, that's not it. It's me trying to reward the people that have been supporting me over the years on those platforms and also make it easier for me.
I'm exceedingly smart. I graduated college at 14. While my brother was getting an STD, I was getting a PhD. Penicillin can't take this away.